Hello and welcome to another edition of the Exponential Sports Talk. I am Corey, and as you see, I am not joined by Michael. So what we're going to do moving forward is Tuesday, I'm going to do a pod solo. Wednesday or Thursday, he's going to do a pod solo, and then Friday, we'll do one together. So what I'm going to talk about today is Team USA basketball. This video will be a little bit shorter than usual because there hasn't been a lot to talk about in sports recently. So anyway, why I think Team USA basketball is struggling. If you haven't watched them recently, they've played their last three games very close. Australia played them by very close to beat them. USA beat them 98-88. They jumped out to a 23-5 lead on Serbia. They ended up blowing that lead, and they win 94-91. And then France, they beat 100-97. So 2 3-point games, and then a 10-point game, which is something we're not used to seeing when watching USA basketball. We're used to seeing them win by 30, 40, 50 points usually. Maybe every once in a while they have a 20-point game, but generally that could be from garbage time because they have the bench in, but generally not very often. So I have like 5 reasons why I think that USA has been struggling, and the first reason I have is they're not really playing good defense. Especially in the Australia game and the Serbia game, and they were pretty lazy in the France game. But especially the Australia game, Australia kind of almost ran like a Golden State offense where it's just a lot of off-ball screens. Australia sets very good screens. Andrew Bogut especially being in that Golden State offense. They're just very good at setting screens, and they know kind of how to get their players open. And USA just did a poor job at, I would say, communicating, picking up guys, switching and any of that. And they were just being flat out lazy. They just looked disinterested, I would say, in that game until about the end when they realized that they could lose this game. So I think one thing they could do to improve their defense is just kind of communicate more. They're just flat out, they're just being lazy. And this team is built, I would say, more for defense than offense. If you look at their team, they have Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Kevin Durant's good defender, DeAndre Jordan, Cousins can be when he wants to be, Kyle Lowry's good, Klay Thompson's good, Draymond Green's an excellent defender. And, they were kind of built to play offense. Secondly, because offense will kind of adjust to FIBA because it's a lot different. I mean, in the Olympics than to, regular basketball that we're used to saying. But, your defense is always going to be the same. And Coach K kind of built this team to play defense. I mean, obviously, you have a couple of scores on that team. Cousins can score, Klay Thompson, especially Durant, Carmelo, and Kyrie. So we have offense on this team. They're just not executing the offense, I would say, correctly. It's tough for them to kind of run any kind of offense because they only have like 5 practices before they start playing games. And that's kind of another point that I'm leaning into. When you watch a lot of these games towards the end, they tend to just kind of get caught up in the closeness and they want to run ISO and everybody kind of wants to be the hero. If you watch the fourth quarter, I'll have some highlights of it. They take difficult contested 2s and, long range 3s. You got Kyrie taking that tough 3. Carmelo was taking a couple of tough shots. Granted, he was on fire, but still, I mean, those were difficult contested shots. I mean, for us, that's not as difficult of a shot because they take those shots every game when they make them. It's still a difficult shot, and you don't want to rely on those kind of shots. You want to kind of pass the ball, get a wide open shot. I mean, they were doing it in the Australia game. They just weren't making all of those shots. And kind of another point about ISO ball, if they want to play this kind of style of ISO ball, Kevin Durant needs to demand the ball a little bit more. He's just not demanding the ball as much as he was, I would say, in that 2010 Olympics where he really had to kind of be the main scorer on that team because they just didn't have that kind of scoring. And after that Australia game, he really hasn't been doing much on the offense. He's kind of just been, lazy, I would say. I mean, he's getting to the line a lot, but he's not taking as many shots, and that's something he needs to do because, I mean, he's 6'10", 6'11", small forward. He's massive, and, nobody can really guard him. And, he is built like a point guard, I would say, like with his skills, but he's in, almost like a center's body. And, he's just so tough for teams to match up against, and he needs to take advantage of it. And he really hasn't been, I would say, the last few games. Now, in the games they dominated, he was doing a lot more, but he just kind of has been standing there and almost like a bystander. And then another point I have is Draymond Green. They haven't been able to use his versatility that much because he's just been struggling passing. He's been making poor decisions. He's turned the ball over a lot. He's not been able to hold on to the ball. He hasn't been making his 3-point shots. If you watch kind of some Golden State highlights, I'll pull up a couple for you so you can see. Draymond Green likes to, come off the screen and get right at the top of the key. He'll either take that 3-point shot or they'll kind of run a screen and roll with, say, a Festus Ezeli, and he'll cut to the rim, try to get a layup, maybe an easy jump shot, or he'll lob it to Ezeli for a wide open dunk. Or another thing they'll do is once Curry or Thompson gives them the ball, they'll kind of run an off screen, maybe to the weak side of the defense or the strong side, and they'll get wide open 3-point shots because, that's what Curry and Thompson love to do. They love to get these wide open shots. They're shooters. They're not, they're not really, they're point guards and guards, but they're more of this new style of guards where we see guards who want to score more, and they're not as a traditional point guard, say like a Chris Paul, who's going to rack up these assists and not score as much. They're both remind me more of like a Kyrie Irving and James Harden kind of type guards. They just want to score a lot, which, nothing wrong with that. That's just how they are. They do it well. That's why they have Draymond Green kind of handle that point forward role. He almost kind of reminds me of like Ben Simmons is going to be the same way, where he's not going to score as much, and he's just going to rack up the assists and rebounds, and he plays good defense. I always say I think Draymond Green he scores a lot better than Ben Simmons. When I think throughout their careers, Draymond Green will probably be the better scorer, just because he can shoot better, and Ben Simmons is not a good shooter, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. But yeah, they haven't been able to use his versatility, and he hasn't been able to play that good of defense, I would say, either in the post. Sometimes he does, sometimes they call a foul on him because the refs, I just don't agree with how they've been calling the games. So they haven't been able to go small. When I looked at the team, I thought, man, they're going to be able to go small, get on the break, do what Team USA likes to do. They just haven't been able to do that because they've just been getting pounded inside, and they haven't been able to rebound the ball. When they've gone small, everybody wants to run the break. So, they haven't been able to really use Draymond Green to his full effect. And then another point, my last point I would say is Boogie has kind of he's been in foul trouble a lot, I would say, outside of the France game. And when he's in foul trouble, they have to go to DeAndre Jordan. Nothing wrong with DeAndre Jordan because of his defense. He's athletic as anything. But the problem is he's just not, made to score. And it kind of takes away what they can do offensively because he can't score outside of, catching a lob, dunking, or maybe he catches the ball, 2 or 3 feet inside, from the hoop, and he can turn around and, hook it in or get an easy shot. When Boogie's out there, he just offers more versatility. He can hit that, free throw line jump shot. He can pass the ball very well. He can steal. He can dribble very well for a center. He just offers that extra versatility that makes him more dangerous. But the problem Boogie's been having, besides his foul trouble, is he's just been so lazy on defense. And I'll have a couple of clips that show it, especially in the Australia game. He's just been so lazy. And even in the Serbia game, they were just lazy. And they got pounded in the Australia and the Serbia game on the post. They had no interest in playing defense at all. And, when he's not playing defense, it's tough to keep him in the game, even though he's so good offensively. He's just so up and down, and there'll be points in the game where he just shows no interest of wanting to even play. So it's tough to have him in the game when he's playing like that. DeAndre Jordan, as good as he is defensively, just doesn't offer that same kind of offensive versatility that I would say DeMarcus Cousins gives them, which hurts them. They have 2 very good centers, which I thought would actually help them more, but it seems like it's almost hurt them more just because DeAndre Jordan's not as versatile offensively, and Cousins just seems so just interested right now in kind of playing defense, really, because he hasn't been getting the ball as much. So anyway, I actually don't think Team USA will lose the game, but I think teams have found a blueprint to maybe play closer to them, and I'm hoping that they don't lose the game, but I really don't think they do. But we could start seeing games closer now, just with how these last 3 teams have figured out how to play them. But anyway, if you like the video, please give a thumbs up, comment if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can, and subscribe if you are new and haven't seen our channel before, because we post all kinds of videos like this. And then Michael should have a video on Wednesday or Thursday, and then we'll definitely get a video up on Friday. But I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.
HBK, yeah, you know how we. And I can't quit, all I know is gang. HBK, yeah, you know how we.